there's really no such thing, right, as a best actor. It doesn't exist. It's different actors, right? And so the only way I can get my head around it is you don't look at it as competition, because I like collaborating with my other storytellers, right? I don't want to compete with them. But the way that people have described it to me is, okay, view it as a celebration of everybody. And okay, one person's getting it, and I know that's a little bit iffy, that whole bit, but just view it as a celebrating everybody. So that's how I do it. That's how I manage to get through it without going, wait, this is all wrong. And it's very significant also in what it means for each film, in that you will get many more people going to see it and get an interest for it. And Amy, I think she's had like 5 or 6 nominations. It's unbelievable how many she's had, and she's just one of the best actresses out there. It's a real pleasure to have gotten to work with her 3 times, and I hope we do many more. And I mean, look at our director and writer Adam. He's up for 3. It's just greedy.
And back to the film. Never before has the saying behind every great man there's a great woman been truer than with the Cheneys.
Right.
How reliant do you think Dick was on Lynne's determination for success?
Absolutely reliant upon it. She was growing up in a time where there's not true equality now, but absolutely no equality at that point. She was basically the one who could have had his career had she been a man. And so she looked at this man who was, getting arrested for DUIs and working as a linesman, and just sort of, he came from a family of Democrats, but, his life was not headed in an ambitious trajectory. And she said, get your act together. And he did it in an amazing amount of time, 11 years between being in the drunk tank and becoming youngest White House chief of staff. But without Lynne, he would never have achieved that, and he admits that. He says anybody who married Lynne would have become VP.
Absolutely. And you mentioned her before, but how great was it to collaborate with Amy Adams once again?
So just, we've got a shorthand now. She bosses me around in every film. If you look at them, actually, she's always bossing every single character of mine around. We know how to do that. And it's just good, when you get a team of people. Adam and I have worked together before. Adam and Amy worked together on the Talladega Nights way back as well. You just sort of understand each other more, and you experiment more, and you feel just more comfortable. It's less talk and more action, and that results in something really, really good up on the screen. And the process each and every day is just really enjoyable.
Your piece of camera at the end of the film is so powerful, especially when you say, I will not apologise for keeping your family safe.
Right.
Do you think Dick Cheney has any regrets, or does he really believe he did it for the benefit of America? Absolutely,
he believes he did it for the benefit of America. He says he would do it all again in a minute. He regrets nothing at all. And I don't know, how true that is. Does he really believe that reality he's conjured for himself, despite the fact that he knows he misled not only personal friends of his, but the entire country and the world into a war that where he claimed it was all about the WMDs, and then when there were no WMDs, said, well, it didn't matter that there were no WMDs. A war in which he completely lost the ideals of what America is, instead of displaying that, an opportunity after 9/11 to absolutely galvanize the world and shine a light into darkness, but instead chose to overcome darkness with darkness to create his own abyss, and actually achieved the very contrary to what he claimed. He's ended up strengthening Iran, and his whole point was the opposite. So does he sleep well at night, with that? I don't know. I don't know if he secretly, has these panic attacks, etc. Lynne wrote a very interesting, maybe telling fictional book called Executive Privilege, where the very confident president in this book of hers does have these quiet panic attacks back behind closed doors.
And sort of a follow-on from that, I think a lot of people, and I was especially surprised about the knock-on effect that Dick Cheney has had on not just politics, but the whole world as we know it.
Yes.
What do you want people to learn from the film, and do you want them to relate it to our current political climate?
It's absolutely related to our current political climate. The crazy partisanship that is happening, the lack of transparency. I know that everybody in their lifetime feels like the moments in their life are the most important moments that have ever happened. But it does seem like there's something that either is going to break in a horrific way, or we have to mend this and truly decide, hey, look, there's always been a dark underbelly to America's history, but there's also been this glorious beacon on a hill, absolute wonderful dream of a true melting pot of people and embracing of immigrants, etc. And we're seeing a real battle between those two ideals right now. And, I do believe that any good person needs to get out there and fight for what is clearly the high ideals that America stands for. And the same goes for, what's going on in Britain.